This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Rodon Ordines, to use this as an educational material. Our topic is environmental crisis. First, let's discuss about learning outcomes. At the end of this video, the student will be able to understand the cause and effects of environmental crisis, analyze global policies and programs, evaluate the impact of population growth on the environment, understand the link between environmental issues and food security, examine the future of globalization and sustainability. So my topic is about the origins and manifestation of global environmental crisis. Global environmental crises come from the way humans interact with the natural world. Over time, as we've developed technology, built cities, and use more resources like fossil fuels, we've created pollution and changed natural systems. These activities have harmed the planet, leading to problems like climate change, air and water pollution, and the loss of plants and animals. This makes the planet warmer, causing extreme weather like hurricanes, floods, and droughts. It also affects ecosystem, leading to issues like rising sea levels and the melting of polar ice caps. Another key issue is the loss of biodiversity. Humans clear forests, pollute ocean, and overuse resources leading to extinction of many species. When species disappear, it disrupts ecosystem, which are system where living things depend on each other to survive. All these changes put pressure on the environment, making it harder for future generations to live sustainably.
Good day, everyone. The topic that I have assigned to discuss with you is to relate everyday encounters with pollution, global warming. So, everyday encounters with pollution and global warming are more common than we might realize. Each day, we contribute to and experience the effects of pollution and climate change, often without thinking about it. For example, air pollution. When we drive cars or use energy from non-renewable sources, we release pollutants like carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, contributing to global warming. The air quality in many cities suffers, leading to health problems like asthma and respiratory issues. Second one is plastic waste. Every time we use single-use plastic like bags, bottles, or packaging, we contribute to pollution. Much of this plastic ends up in landfills or oceans, harming marine life and ecosystems. The production of plastics also emits greenhouse gases, worsening global warming. The third one is food choices. The production of certain foods, especially meat, requires large amount of water and energy and often involves deforestation. Agriculture also produces methane, a potent greenhouse gases adding to global warming. These daily activities show how our choices and behavior contribute to pollution and global warming. By being mindful of our actions, like reducing car use, minimizing plastics, and choose sustainable foods, we can reduce our environmental impact and help mitigate climate change. That's all. Thank you.
Desertification and ozone depletion are two environmental challenges that often have direct and noticeable effect on everyday life. In areas affected by desertification, people may experience shortage as the degradation of land leads to reduced water retention in the soil and the drying of local water sources. This can result in water restrictions, higher utility costs, or reliance on less accessible sources, making daily tasks like watering plants or taking long showers more difficult. Additionally, agricultural productivity suffers as crops struggle to grow on degraded soil, leading to higher food prices and scarcity of certain produce in local markets, affecting facilities' grocery bills. Ozone depletion, which allows more harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun to reach Earth's surface, can be felt through increased risk of sunburns and skin cancers. Everyday outdoors activities like walking, playing sports, or simply spending time in the sun can lead to more severe sunburns, to long-term exposure increase, to likelihood of skin damage of eye issues, such as cataracts. People in areas with thinner ozone layers might notice the need for stronger sun protection such as sunscreen or protective clothing, becoming more essential as a part of daily routine, especially during summer months. Moreover, both desertification and ozone depletion contribute to more extreme weather conditions. As desertification spreads, regions may face frequent heat waves, dust storms, and extreme temperatures. Shifts making it harder to work outdoors or enjoy recreational activities. In areas where the ozone layer is thinner, the sun's heat can feel more intense, further exacerbating the sun of rising temperatures. This combination of environmental stressors forces individuals to adapt their daily habits, whether it's limiting outdoor activities during extreme heat or purchasing air purifiers to cope with dust storm, highlighting and broader often invisible impact of this global phenomena of daily life.
Good day everyone. My topic is about government policies and programs worldwide. Government worldwide have implemented various policies and programs to address the environmental crisis, focusing on areas like climate change, pollution, control, renewable energy, and conservation. Here's the example. First is climate change mitigation and adaptation. Many countries have committed to reduce greenhouse gas emission through international agreements like the Paris Agreement. Under the framework, countries set emission reduction targets aiming to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius, ideally 1.5 degrees Celsius. Nationally determined contribution are plans submitted by each country outlining their specific climate action strategies, including the renewable energy targets, energy efficiency improvements, and carbon pricing. Next is renewable energy programs. Countries such as Germany, Denmark, and China have invested heavily in renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power. Germany's energy transition is a long-term policy to shift from fossil fuels to nuclear and energy renewables, setting an example for sustainable energy transition. The U.S. Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 includes significant incentives for clean energy developments in electric vehicle adoption and carbon capture technologies. Next is conservation and biodiversity protection. Nations with significant biodiversity like Brazil and Indonesia have enacted programs to protect rainforests and other ecosystems such as enforcement can vary. The European Union's biodiversity strategy aims to protect 30% of the EU's land and marine areas and restore degraded ecosystem, enhancing biodiversity and across Europe.
So, what is the relationship of population growth to environmental issues? So, first of all, what is population growth? It refers to the increase in number of people living in a particular area over a certain period. And second is, what is environmental issues? It refers to problems related to the environment, including natural resources, depletion, pollution, loss of biodiversity, climate change, and deforestation. So let's answer the question. What is the relationship of population growth to environmental issues? The relationship between population growth and environmental issues is cyclical. Population growth exacerbates environmental problems, which in turn can affect the quality of life for people. For example, as natural resources become scarce or the climate becomes more unstable, human health and livelihoods are directly threatened. Managing population growth alongside sustainable development practices is key to addressing these interconnected challenges. So, the relationship between population growth and environmental issues: as the global population continues to grow, the demand for resources like food, water, energy, and land increases. This places pressure on the environment in several ways. First is resource depletion. A large population demands more resources. As the population grows, the consumption of natural resources such as fossil fuels, water, minerals, and arable land escalates. The second is population. More people means more waste, including air pollution, water pollution, and plastic waste. Industrial activities, transportation, and agriculture, all intensified by population growth, contribute to environmental degradation. Third is deforestation and habitat loss. To accommodate the growing human population, forests are cleared for agriculture, urbanization, and infrastructure. This contributes to habitat loss for many species, and the destruction of forests also exacerbates climate change by reducing carbon sequestration capacity.
Population growth and food security are closely linked, with each influencing the other. Here are the main ways in which population growth impacts food security. First, increased demand for food. As the population grows, so does the demand for food. More people require more calories, which puts pressure on agricultural system to produce more food. This increased demand can lead to a rise in food prices, making it harder for low-income individuals and communities to afford sufficient and nutritious food. Second, resource strain. Population growth strains natural resources like water, arable land, and energy. Agriculture is highly dependent on these resources, and excessive use can lead to degradation and scarcity, making it harder to sustain food production in the long run. Third, land use and urbanization. Growing population require more housing infrastructure and space, which often leads to urban sprawl and a acquisition of farmland to urban land. As productive agricultural decreases, the challenge of producing enough food for everyone becomes even greater.
Population growth is closely tied to sustainability, as an increasing population leads to higher consumption of resources such as food, water, and energy. This heightened demand can strain the environment, resulting in deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and increased greenhouse gas emissions that contribute to climate change. The more people there are, the greater the challenging in managing waste, maintaining ecological balance, and ensuring that resources are used efficiently. This pressure can hinder sustainable development, especially when growth outpaces advancements in technology or effective environmental policies. However, sustainable practices and equitable resource management can mitigate the impacts of population growth. Solutions like renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and comprehensive family planning policies that helps human balance with environmental health. By promoting responsible consumption habits and improving access to education and resources, societies can work toward growth that does not compromise the well-being of future generations. The focus should be on creating systems that support both human development and ecological preservation.
Population growth affects development in multiple ways, impacting economic, social, and environmental dimensions. On one hand, a growing population can fuel economic growth by expanding the workforce, increasing consumer demand, and encouraging innovation. However, if population growth outpaces job creation, it can lead to high unemployment, low wages, and economic strain. Rapid population increases also place stress on resources like water, food, housing, and education, potentially slowing development, especially in lower income nations that may struggle to meet these needs. Environmentally, unchecked population growth can lead to deforestation, pollution, and loss of biodiversity, challenging sustainable development. On the social side, ensuring adequate health care, education, and social services become harder with rapid growth, often leading to lower overall human capital. However, if a country invests well in its growing population, it can benefit from a demographic dividend where a larger skilled workforce boosts economic progress in the long run. Balancing population growth with sustainable resource management is essential to achieve healthy, stable development.
Globalizations is likely to be marked by shifting patterns of trade, technology, labor, geopolitics as a countries and industries navigate a rapidly changing world. Here are a few key trends and considerations. First is technology and digital globalizations. Advances in technology such as artificial intelligence or AI, 5G networks, and blockchain are redefining globalizations, while traditional globalizations focus on goods and services crossing borders. Digital globalization involves data and digital services, e-commerce, cloud service, and remote work are enabled companies to operate globally with less physical presence, which changes the nature of international collaborations. The second is regionalization. This is a shift from broad globalization to more regional supply chains. Events like the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted vulnerabilities in global supply chains, prompting companies to move productions closer to their markets or diversity suppliers. Regions like North America, Europe, and Asia are increasingly focusing on strengthening their own trade networks, which could lead to regional globalization. The third is sustainability. Environment impact as climate changes becomes a top priority. Globalization may shift towards sustainable practices. Industry are facing pressure to reduce carbon emission and adopt greener methods, influencing global supply chains. This includes nearshoring or reshoring to reduce transportation emission and transitioning to circular economies that minimize waste.